The death is announced of Mrs. Theresa Edward, also known as Frances or Ma Nicole, of Lahore, Barnslabbery, who passed away at her residence on Friday, 30th December 2016. She was 80 years old. She was predeceased by her husband, Antoine Edward, also known as Nicole. One son, Joseph Edward, also known as Trini. Left to mourn, 5 daughters, Madeline Eugene of Citygate, Virginie Edward of New York, Jean Edward of Lahore, who was also her caretaker, Gina Edward of New York, Patricia Edward of New York. 8 sons, Felix Anatole, also known as Kufa, Daniel Edward, David Edward, all of Lahore, Dunstan Edward of New York, Gregor Edward in Martinique, Patrick Edward in Barbados, Regis Edward of New York. 39 grandchildren, Ridge, Deverne, Janelle, Leah, and Deanne Edward, all of New York. Sarah Maslin of New York, Jimmy, Jamil, Jeremy, and Paulina Edward, all of Lahore. Sheena Edward of Blasha, Charlene, and Kishama of Castries. Keisha St. Ange of Lahore, Nyla, Nellies Edward, Sania, Kayla Edward, both of New York, Sanine Henry, and Soraya Edward of Florida. Sophia, Yasmin, Chris, and Glenn Anatole, all of Citygate, Dixon in England, Vanessa of Yefo, Linnell, Devell, and Dwight Edward of Lahore, Casey and Kaylin Lionel of Castries, Katie and Samantha Edward of New York, Danley, Stephan, and Tarek Edward of New York, Clint Eugene of Lahore, Randall Gabriel of Lahore, Dwayne Gabriel of Yefo, Vernell and Kay Edward of Piero Viefo. 8 great-grandchildren, Jan Monrock, Jaden Anatole, Tayer Anderson, Crystal Ann Chiraou, Queen Anatole, all of Castries, Brittany Edward, Paige and Ethan Simon, all of New York. 6 sisters, Sonia Louis of Bonterre, Nedra St. Ange of Castries, Angela Duncan of New York, Greta Descartes of Castries, Sabina Anthony of Angers, Leota Anatole of New York. 5 brothers, Jean-Baptiste Purcell of La Grasse, Baptiste Paul of St. Croix, Lawrence Paul of Castries, employed the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, George Evans of Lahore, Michael Anatole of Cicero. Daughters-in-law including Emily Edward of Florida, Lynn St. Ange, and Lydia Gustav of Lahore. Sons-in-law including William Marslin of New York, Augustine Eugene of Citygate. Caretakers, Leona Matre and Lucia Eugene of Lahore. Close friends including Loretta Rennie of Baranja, Maisie Matre of Lahore, Patricia Rennie of Baranja, Francilia Purcell of La Grasse, Mr. and Mrs. Robert O'Geese of Lahore, Steve Hunt of Jetwin, Claret of Labrie. Also left to mourn the Baptist family, the Antoine family, the O'Geese family, the Lawrence family, the Purcell family, all of Labrie, the Joe family of Labrie and Saltibus, the Shalman family of Labrie and Saltibus, the Matre family of Lahore, the Bans La Grasse Catholic Prayer Group, the entire Bans-la-Grace-Lahoud community, other relatives and friends both here and abroad. The funeral service of the late Mrs. Theresa Edward, also known as Frances O'Manicols, will be held on Friday, 13th January 2017 at the Purification of the Blessed Virgin Mary Catholic Church Library at 3 p.m. The body will then be laid to rest at the Margaret O'Brien Private Cemetery, Latune. The body now lies at Lazarus Funeral Home, New York Road, Vieux. May she rest in peace.